Our planetary and human condition is shaped first and foremost by our financial systems. Today's standard currency is centrally created with debt and interest attached to it. This debt-based money is distributed through trickle-down economics, in which money trickles down, or doesn't, from the top of the pyramid to the other layers of society. If we are to change the trajectory of humanity, we will need to evolve these systems. My name is Franz Allmaier, and along with co-creators from across the world, we have been inspired to facilitate the emergence of a regenerative financial systems. So welcome to this world of abundance, where there are infinite pathways to co-create this regenerative future that we all know is possible. I will share a few of these pathways, but essentially it is up to you to shape the path you want to embark in that is more fit to your purpose and passions. And beautiful alignment as we continue to spread regenerative economies across the planet, leveraging the Seeds cooperative economy. To start with, I want to mention that the self-organizing principle we use to achieve scale and impact is to work with functional landscapes, organizing economic activities around watersheds, mountain ranges, coastal estuaries, and even historic trade routes. This allows us to work with whole systems that naturally integrate themselves in ecological, but also cultural terms. More than that, each territory that we engage with becomes a bioregional learning site that is cooperatively owned and managed by local communities. This begins with the development of land suitable for regeneration that can be employed as a training ground for regional economic development. Each local circle becomes a convener for mapping of its territory, coordination of development efforts, related research, and educational activities, for example. By establishing circles at a local, national, or bioregional level, together we form a global network for peer-to-peer exchange among the regional economies that become embedded and integrated through the socio-economic and technological stack designed for cooperation and coordination that are facilitated through the Seeds ecosystem. We have been approached by more than 50 bioregions on 6 continents since the launch of the Seeds Global Passport. Our strategy is to weave together the plethora of initiatives, movements, new forms of enterprise, lifestyle experiments, by now encompassing all aspects of life, which are invisibly connected in a shared attempt to bring about a more sustainable future. By joining existing permaculture camps, for example, or retreat centers, eco-villages, cities, nation-states, for-purpose organizations, artisan cooperatives, and many, many more, we shape together an integrated impulse for genuine transformation, giving life to a planetary scale network of regenerative hubs, all of which aligned around a shared vision for change. Our planetary and human condition is shaped first and foremost by our financial systems. Today's standard currency is centrally created with debt and interest attached to it. This debt-based money is distributed through trickle-down economics, in which money trickles down, or doesn't, from the top of the pyramid to the other layers of society. If we are to change the trajectory of humanity, we will need to evolve these systems. My name is Franz Allmaier, and along with co-creators from across the world, we have been inspired to facilitate the emergence of a regenerative financial systems. This system functions like the mycelial network of a forest. It connects all regenerative projects and people together in a way that more effectively generates and distributes value towards the projects that are benefiting the long-term well-being of the system as a whole. I'm here talking to you today because in the near future, I see us all living and thriving in globally regenerative cultures and societies. I know you are playing an important role in this new story already. So I would like to invite you to align and collaborate and share with you ways on how to be rewarded for your contributions to this new earth. The question is, do you envision a more beautiful direction for the socioeconomic development of your community? We know that the way to truly prosper during times of converging crises is to build thriving and resilient communities. To promote greater systemic well-being and a better future, we must move to co-create transdisciplinary solutions that go beyond siloed action and thinking to seek regeneration. Every ambassador in this context is unique and has a unique perspective of what their community might need. This is you. So look around at your local community, whether it is local or whether it is global for some of you, and start by identifying the gaps that keep people from achieving their maximum potential. First step, build your multi-stakeholder network. A multi-stakeholder network can be anything from local, starting from your community, from your local cafes. Some of you might be involved already more regionally, perhaps with involvement or your network that spans across the world, layered or supported by information and communications technology. This could also be a national or even go beyond. For here, the key is to bring together the key people that are involved in the various aspects of what you perceive your community might be needing. This could include whether land management or people involved in economic development. But more than that, it includes your friends, it includes your family, your local cafe, the place where you buy your organic food. And in another bigger scale, it might be staff of national ministries, agribusiness, small scale, smallholder farmers, regional investors, conservationists, and researchers. But I would advise definitely start small. Trust is the most powerful fuel that we have in weaving these efforts together. Anchor in locally and hold space for the global alliances to continue to nurture the seeding of your projects. Onboard individuals. Remember, the tools that we're building take a little bit of work. Not everybody knows their seeds, the private keys. It takes a while and it takes a little bit of hand-holding to get people who have never been exposed to blockchain to start leveraging these tools. Remember, owning your financial system comes with some responsibilities. Make sure you remind them about writing down their private keys and what that means. If you lose access to your keys, you lose your account, and that is important for everyone to remember. And yeah, as you form this web, what you're able to do is gather the seeds accounts from your community, from your bioregion, and from that place, you can already start looking to sponsor a proposal and figuring out how this network will help distribute the seeds for their intended purposes. Individuals is one way. Likewise, there's alliances. Now you have been empowered and should know how it is to create an organizational account. Help them share their goods and services and place them into this regenerative market where we are all incentivized to leverage their products and services. Help them market their products and embed them into the larger economy that we're facilitating. At the same time, help them request an alliance share, which earns them stake into the global seeds economy. As they share a stake into the global seeds economy, this aligns their financial interest. As they have a share of the total seeds economy, and this share is growing, they will also be much more incentivized to share this with their larger community. Because of the value of each seeds grows, so does their share. Additionally, we also have the seeds campaigns that alliances can use to reward their communities and bring them into the movement. Be creative. There are infinite ways to reward regeneration in this ever-evolving ecosystem. Interesting mechanism that we like to use in the movement, as you have formed a local or a global multi-stakeholder network, is simply bring them together and envision future scenarios. Each one holds a unique perspective And as we bring this conversation together and communicate a set of regenerative driven scenarios of the future state of your context, you're able to take conservation, regeneration, economic and social goals into account. And together, you're able to come up with a pathway to move forward towards the desired future. We are preparing a large set of tools for alliances and organizations to help them support in this pathway. Together, I invite you to identify regenerative opportunities present that we can then fill with regenerative entrepreneurship to fill those gaps and really give value to these contributions that are currently in the current context not given any value. Find solutions to incentivize the community to reach your desired objects. We are here to reward regenerative efforts. Furthermore, once your vision is established and communicated, you are here to help also cultivate your vision. We have a number of channels where you can make a post sharing your vision and what your intentions are, whether it is on the Seeds Passport or in Discord or in the many other spaces that our alliances are helping weave together. Here you can gain further support from other local initiatives that might share the same vision with you, but also regional and global partners will be able to knock on your door and say, hey, your idea is exactly what we're looking. How can we contribute to make it manifest and scale? And as you continue to do this, you can continue aggregating this effort into your multi-stakeholder network. And there are different ways to fund your endeavor. Seeds is one way, but as you're able to kind of explicitly show what you're doing with Seeds, the tools that we're building become a vehicle for collaborative impact investment themselves. So also consider additional funding mechanisms that are able to bring value to your efforts. Once you have this, your proposal to be submitted to the Seeds Co-op for pilot funds are much more likely to go through. And once they go through, you will be able to receive funding directly to grow your community, heal your ecosystem, and do all of these amazing things that we know are possible and that you uniquely hold this particular perspective to make it possible. And once that is being done, remember always to monitor the benefits of your work, the landscape, the ecosystem, the society involved. Keep track of these changes and transformation, which will be then leveraged again to keep the community informed, and will be also able to continue growing and repeating, so that when you run out of funds, you can request for more and report back to the community on how the first batch was used and what impact resulted. As the impact is powerful, you can earn more and expand. As I mentioned, trust is the principal fuel in this ecosystem, and as you earn trust in the SIDS community, your potential becomes limitless. Interesting case studies that I would like to share with you in terms of things that are happening already on the ground. So for example, in Mesoamerica, the bioregion I am currently in, there is already a large number of activities going on, ranging from small to the very large. One example of these small campaigns that are currently ongoing is what we call the Concurso Campesino, which in English means the farmer's context, taking place in the Ixil area in Guatemala, in the Guatemalan highlands. The Ixil are the smallest ethnic group in this country. And here I met Pedro around 2 years ago, and we exchanged about seeds. Today, Pedro came back to me and requested funding for really empowering the biodiversity in the farmers' gardens. Families' gardens are given a pointing system, and an evaluator goes through each family's garden and gives points for the biodiversity found in each garden, and resilience and diversity is given value. Furthermore, if a family has medicinal herbs in their garden, that also earns them more points. So this entire pointing system becomes a sort of positive competition in which the more resilient a community can be, the more rewards they receive in seeds. And this serves as a wonderful activity because as people understand what the value of their biodiversity and resilience in terms of food sovereignty and being able to provide their needs through their own gardens and nature, they now have a currency to exchange these goods and services with one another. So first of all, knowledge is shared, um, biodiversity and food sovereignty is incentivized and rewarded, and all of a sudden now these people have a medium of exchange that is better than free to exchange these goods and services. So we are able to really kickstart an entire community-based marketplace simply using seeds as a medium of exchange. This is one example. Another example is the activities that we have going on with the University for International Cooperation in Costa Rica. I had the privilege of meeting Eduard Müller, who is the director of this UCI University, a few years back, where we aligned deeply around the regenerative pathways that are required for the region to thrive and excel. From that point on, I knew we were going to be collaborating closely, and indeed, together with him and a series of multiple organizations, we created a 5-year plan to regenerate Mesoamerica. As we continue to bring organizations into the ecosystem, what we're doing right now is creating curriculum under the framework of the Renaissance Pluriversity, where the entire curriculum for this international university is now available in seeds. So any seed holder is able to receive tuition and pay for it in seeds. Furthermore, what we're doing is creating curriculums to help feed this network. So currently we just launched a master's and a technician in regenerative tourism, where we're providing the scholarship for 3 people per country in the Mesoamerican region. And together we start then forming a framework for regenerative tourism, where these individuals are already engaging in mapping of touristic potentials based under the principles of regeneration, and together create business opportunities where the community can engage in and with, and also where international travelers can travel across the region without needing even to touch fiat. Furthermore, we're creating, in addition to the DHO badge system, badges for completing tuition, so that, for example, anyone who gets educated in any of these pillars of regeneration can have a badge in addition to the normal diplomas that exist, that allow them to navigate the whole global ecosystem and build that trust. So these are the examples of, for example, what's going on in the bioregion of Mesoamerica, which is where I currently find myself. And there's also incredible stories unfolding in other bioregions. For example, in the other bioregion where we are closely engaging is the Rhine Valley. We have selected this bioregion as another key pressure point or acupuncture pressure point, where with the minimum effort we can really achieve huge impact. And this region is essentially a 4-country bioregion that unites the Rhine River that flows from the Alps up into the German-speaking countries, which are shared by Liechtenstein, Austria, Switzerland, and Germany. And we know here that placing a little bit of emphasis there will immediately continue to erase the borders that have been separating these powerful waterways. And exactly that's what's happening. Just a few weeks back, we've received the news that our proposal to the local municipality of Triesen, which is one of essentially the first country that made the step towards regenerative, or not regenerative, but sustainable energy systems, now wants to make the steps towards a regenerative energy system. So we have proposed to them a strategy to make Triesen the first energy autonomous municipality of the world. And a few weeks back, the entire local government unanimously voted in favor to implement the energy sovereignty vision. And for this, we're also already working to shape this as a DHO, where multiple people and organizations can contribute to this integrated development process, where every organization can tokenize their contributions, and the users who were before the consumers now themselves can become producers and essentially own their energy systems. And as more value is created within the network, we foresee that this is going to become a venture cooperative that punches well above their weight and integrates neighboring communities and slowly starts spreading as a seed and interconnect other countries in Europe. As the next section, I will speak about where do we go next. In the near future, I see us living and thriving in globally regenerative cultures and societies. This shift is not limited to cities, but really has a rural renaissance at the very core of its foundation. The well-being economies that are spreading roots and sprouting are not limited by geopolitics, but are truly shaped by a shared sense of responsibility towards the biosphere as a whole. What now counts is that each of us takes personal responsibility for the global shift we are collectively part of, to unite all of these impulses into a breakthrough towards genuine sustainability, freedom, and peace. I want to celebrate each and every one of you for holding space for this wonderful emergence, and definitely count on us to help weave those contributions and find the right space into the fertile soil so that these contributions will be reciprocated. So I salute you and welcome you to this regenerative renaissance.